All right, everybody, welcome back to yet another episode of Grown Man's Game with your host, Gerrit Ritt, and my man, Johnny Ballgame. Johnny Collins over here. We're coming to you live from Los Angeles, and that's where we're going to start today's show off of. You may have seen the Lakers have a couple of decisions they made yesterday. They gave qualifying offers to Austin Reaves and Rui Hachimura. So both of them should be back next year, but they will now have other teams being able to bid on them in the foreseeable future. And once free agency officially begins on Friday, we'll see what happens with both of those guys. So obviously these guys were both low ball offers that the Lakers just gave them, and we'll get into the more specifics about that soon. But Johnny, I know you are a Lakers guy. You're born and raised here. I'm just a transplant. I've been here for 20 plus years, but I'm not. I didn't grow up a Laker fan. You did, and you're a big Austin Reaves fan. And at some point today, I'm going to call him Bryant Reeves. I am going. It's going to happen. I can't help myself. So I apologize ahead of time. But Austin Reaves has been a revelation for this team the last couple of years. He's a fan favorite. You're a favorite of his as well. So tell me what your thoughts on him and what you see happening really quick with him this offseason and with the Lakers.
Right. So, the first time I saw this guy, he was touted as Hillbilly Kobe, and it almost sounded gimmicky. Like, here's this guy. All right, he's made it to the squad. How? We don't know. And so from a role player, undrafted, to what he's become, an anomaly, an enigma, a guy that handles the ball, LeBron loves. Into the playoffs, he just grew, became a starter, and the offense ran through him. At the end at times, obviously it was LeBron, but Hillbilly, I like to call him, he had the ball at the end. He goes to the hoop. He plays the pick and roll game. He draws fouls. I mean, it's incredible what he's doing. So yes, very excited, and we'll see what happens with him. They're going to sign him. I think the agent is trying to get some leverage. We'll see what's out there in the market, but Hillbilly is here to stay.
So that's the deal, right? His qualifying offer they just made to him yesterday was only $2.3 million. Actually, not even that, 2.1 million. He's only made 2.5 mil in his first two seasons with the Lakers. Literally the best bargain in the NBA right now. I don't think you can make a case for anybody else at that little of a salary cap hit over these last 2 years, because he went undrafted, like you said, and we can get into that in a minute. But the fact that he went through that draft undrafted by what has come out of that draft is amazing, and what he's been able to accomplish, what he's able to put up on the board. So yeah, you're right, because looking at the numbers, that when he came to the team 2 years ago, he was an afterthought. No one thought this guy was even going to make the team, much less all of a sudden be a valuable player, role player, couple man off the bench early on. And then last season, really become almost the most indisposable member of that team. The one guy on the squad that you can say you felt good about being on the roster for the next 5-6 years, because LeBron and AD aren't going to be those guys either.
Right. Remember, I just rolled to throw in there.
Who else is the cornerstone of the Lakers other than this guy, if they plan to re-sign him or match an offer, which of course we really think that's going to happen.
Yeah. He's here to stay. I was just gonna, sorry to interrupt there. He, that moment in Memphis in the playoffs. Memphis was still a really good team, and the Lakers took down Memphis, and he had his moment where he was just clutch at the end, and he says, "I'm him." He arrived right there, like he was here to stay, and he let everyone know it. So that was awesome.
I think I saw it. He had 5 of the last 7 playoff games. He went over 20 points.
Really?
Basically, was more of a force in the playoffs than Anthony Davis was. Anthony Davis, we saw he never had 2 20-point games back to back in that playoff run. He was given a lot of crap about that. He was unbelievably inconsistent. Whereas Reaves was the man. And yeah, you said he was a go-to guy there at many points in the playoffs, at many points during the end of the regular season when LeBron took some games off. It got down to the fourth quarter and the ball was in Reaves' hands. He's clearly a guy that the Lakers need and want to have on their roster for the next 5, 6 years. What's it going to cost him though? Right now, like I said, the qualifying offer is only 2.1 mil. That's just something that his agent threw out there and the team threw out there that we know is going to be blown out of the water soon by someone making an offer. And the Lakers have publicly said, even if that offer is a max 4-year, 110 mil, they are more than likely going to match it. Mm-hmm. Is that worth it? Is he worth 25 mil, or hell, what is that? 28 mil a year on that squad? Can you justify that?
I mean, you tell me, but at this point, the Lakers, we know their window is right now. 1 or 2 more years with LeBron. So LeBron loves him. So I don't think money is an issue. If LeBron wants him, he's staying. So sure. Again, I give them 1 more year, and this whole Bronny thing is a whole nother topic, but absolutely. He's earned that money. He's valuable, and especially with the Lakers.
It's funny because as of right now, no one in that 2021 draft class, of which he was a member, didn't get drafted, but he's a member of that draft class. No one's going to be making that amount of money next year. And this is an undrafted dude who's only made $2 million in 2 years. And now all of a sudden he could very well be signing a 9-figure contract.
What a story.
In the next week or so, which is just, I mean, blows your mind. But do the Lakers have it in them to be a contender this year? As of now, we're looking at it, and they may re-sign Hachimura. We love Vanderbilt as a 6th, 7th man or so, but this team does not have a point guard right now. There is no D'Angelo Russell. There is no Schroeder. As of now, they are both unrestricted free agents, and even if they do re-sign one of the 2 of those guys, really, do you want that? Is that the guy you want as a point guard? Now they drafted Huchafano out of Indiana. Could he step in right away and be a starting point guard in this league?
He is solid, man. I was looking at some tape. He really is good at assists, moving, handling the ball. We'll see, but you're right. Fred VanVleet is out there.
No chance. They don't have the money.
No chance. I know they don't have the money, but let's just be real. They got to the Western Conference Finals. A team that was ripped apart by the media, playing and made it, and won and got to play Jokic. And all those games were extremely competitive. So it's not like they're far off. Keep what you got. This team, Vanderbilt and Beasley and D'Angelo, they came over, and all of a sudden they just excelled. So I don't know. I don't think they need a hell of a lot. And this guard from Indiana looks fantastic. So we'll see.
You're going to be counting on a rookie point guard to be the starter on what you're hoping to be a championship level team right now. That is a really bold ask. And like I said, maybe they bring Schroeder or D'Angelo Russell back. If they do, it's going to be on an absolute veteran minimum contract, which Schroeder's been playing on the last 2 years because he's his worst enemy as far as contracts go. He turned down multi-million-dollar deal and had to settle for one in a minimum deal with the Celtics 2 years ago. And he did the same thing with the Lakers last year to build his market up. And he did because he was a starting point guard for this team at the playoffs, in essence. And now he's got to the point where he could sign a decent deal, but the Lakers don't have any money to give him.
Right.
So what are you going to do? I think you're going to be forced to bring back Russell on a cheap deal and then have the entire Laker fan base continue to hate the guy until he proves he can score more than 5 points in a playoff game. Or you're just going to settle for a rookie officially starting as point guard, but when it comes down to it, it's basically LeBron and maybe even Reaves handling the ball in the back court when it really matters in big games.
You just said it. So this rookie can come in and he can be like a 6th man. He's not going to be the starter. He'll help out when needed. He'll run the offense effectively. I believe that. Oh, the irony here is Austin Reaves could be the point guard. We know LeBron's the point forward, So I think they work together. I mean, I don't think we need much else. So they got the point guard because it's a need, but between LeBron and Austin, I feel very confident in an offense being run.
And then we run into the same old problem that we've had the last few years, though. Can the Lakers stay healthy when it matters the most?
No.
LeBron has missed a ton of games. The AD, forget about that. Street clothes has missed. You can guarantee him missing 30 games next year. It just matters
Yep.
of when it's going to happen. You just got to roll the dice and hope that those games aren't in the playoffs. And if that's the case, they're screwed before they even start. I mean, there's no way this team gets to Western Conference Finals, much less gets to the NBA Finals without AD in the starting lineup, even if he's shooting 30-foot jumpers instead of trying to dominate down low, which he should be doing.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
this team, whether it's Reaves or LeBron running the point or Hood Schifano or a, you know, a, a D'Angelo Russell where nobody wants. If
Yeah.
it's one of those guys handling the ball, that's great. But it all comes down to injuries and one Reaves is, I mean, even Reaves missed 20 games last year. So
Did he
he's not
really?
impervious to that kind of thing.
Okay. You're right. I do remember. Um, I think that's a great point, just in terms of injuries and stuff. But I just harken back to what they did last year with all the chaos. Here they were. They figured it out. Props to Pelinka for bringing in the team. It will be fascinating to see what they do. I do like that rookie a lot. I was looking at some films. Really good ball handler to facilitate with LeBron. But you're right. Like the injuries are going to be a problem, but um, Austin Reaves is here to stay.
Yeah. Austin is, and more than likely Hachimura will be also. Uh, I don't think Malik Beasley is. He couldn't find his role in the playoffs.
Right.
Uh, he came out like a ball of fire when he first got to town and was crushing life, hitting 5, 6 3-pointers a game sometimes, and then all of
Perfect.
a sudden he'd be back on the bench and he'd throw up some bagels, and he
Donnie
found himself on
Walker,
the
all
bench a
these
lot
guys.
during the playoffs.
Yeah, a lot
So,
of
and
these.
then what does Lonnie Walker do? Does that happen again? Is he coming back? Uh, I think Vanderbilt, we both like him. He's going to have a role as the first big man off the bench.
Great
Mo
defense.
Bamba is still on that team. I don't know what the hell is going to happen with that guy,
Right.
but he's under contract. So as far as Reeves goes, though, we had a little thing we wanted to do because I mean, what he's done being undrafted in that 2021 draft class is really unheard of. And now he's going to be the first guy to really sign a big deal out of it, too. If we look back on that, where does this guy get drafted? It's clear he's clearly a top 10 guy now, but there were a lot of good players at the very top of that draft class. And then it absolutely nosedived once it got to about the 10 spot. I mean, you're looking at Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Suggs, Josh Giddey. Uh,
Pretty good
those
players.
are all solid.
Yeah.
Does you think Reeves would get drafted over any of those guys if we had to do it over again? Probably Suggs, but
Uh, Suggs is pretty solid too.
he's good.
But
He came on
Giddy
late in the
is
year.
Giddy. I've
So
been
I'm thinking
impressed
that
with.
Reeves may be like the 7th or 8th pick nowadays. And here's a question. If you were the Golden State Warriors right now and you had to do it all over again, would you take Jonathan Kuminga or would you be taking Austin Reeves there at the 7th pick?
Hillbilly. I
I
mean,
think it's
let's.
a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, I mean his ball control, his confidence, his attitude. He's a career 86% free throw shooter, and I
Right.
think 36 from three. Um, I mean, do the math. So, yeah, Hillbilly, I like that right there with Giddy. Really impressed with Giddy. Man, that guy is smooth. He has some joker in him, man. He gets the ball and he knows what he's doing. He's under control and he's calm. Love watching that guy. So I think he's a little more talented than Hillbilly. But right after that, I would say.
He was a perfect fit at 6 for OKC. And OKC also got Trey Mann in that draft. Uh, Franz Wagner got picked in that draft later on. I think he was the 8th pick. So he's probably a better player overall than Reeves too. He's going to be a big power forward there or small forward for the Magic for a lot of years. But
Yeah.
I mean, literally Reeves is easily a top pick if you
Yeah.
redraft that draft, and maybe up as high as even 6 or 7 to Golden State. So we're going to see what happens to him now. If he, how big the contract is that the Lakers have to match from someone who offers it for him. But I think we're
Yeah, man.
both under the agreement that he's not going anywhere. The Lakers will re-sign him. He is going to be the number 3 in LA for the foreseeable future. And as soon as LeBron and AD go their separate ways, where does he land? Does he have potential to be a go-to guy, a number 1 or even a number 2 guy in a market like LA? Do you think he has that in him?
That's interesting because this is all going to be falling apart here in a year or two. So is Reaves thinking maybe in the future, maybe I'll go somewhere else that has a better future, a team that's on the rise? Because we know the Lakers, it's going to be hard in a couple of years, and Father Time always wins. So yeah, it's an interesting question to pose. What does Hillbilly really want to do? But I think they'll keep him here for at least a year or two, if not.
Good talk, John. That is our discussion today for Grown Man's Game. We'll be back here soon, talk about some other topics. But in Lakerland, in LA, it's always the Lakers. It's always going to be that way, first and foremost. And right now, the guy in everybody's mind is Austin Reaves and what's going to happen to him. John, we'll be back again soon.
You
Thanks,
got it,
man.
buddy. Thank you.